had a feeling that she was right at the back at the moment.
Так, ребят, сори, не включалась трансляция почему-то. Всем привет! Сегодня женщины Масстарт. И включаемся в гонку.
I think Heike Gross, certainly a moment ago, she was up somewhere near the front there. I think she's in about 6th place at the moment, so she's going okay. And look at those skis. Vanessa Voigt has good skis.
Well, there's Heike Gross. You're absolutely right. It must have been Aita Gasparin who's further back for the Swiss. Norway there, big hopes with Tandrevold obviously, but Connaughton and Anna Clive have been going well. The French, Brézard Boucher and Julia Simon are the two big names, but Jean Monod is not far behind them. And they've got Sophie Chavot in there, who's a very, very quick skier, only 30 seconds behind Lampitz over 12.5k. Which puts her into contention.
Брэзard второе, Лампич шестое.
Hannah Erberg, yeah, we're still waiting to see her form come back. She's 5 seconds off the pace at the moment. That is nothing to worry about. And then further down, Gigana, Tominga, Schneider of Germany.
Так, Витоци на последнем месте бежит. Наверное, было падение.
So a fairly stiff pace that Simon is producing here coming into the range. It doesn't look quick, but she is not easing off and working intentionally trying to get her heart rate down. She wants to push other people into the red zone and force them to try and make mistakes.
40,000 fans attending the races last week in Ruhpolding.
Кто за кого болеет, ребят, пишите в чате. Поставьте лайки. Но на раскрытие падения было. У меня само не включалась трансляция. Пропустил. Симон чисто. Лампич промах. Эльвира Оберг промах. Лампич 1 промах. Эльвира Оберг 2. Брэзard Boucher 1. Тандреvold. Без промахов. Шимано чисто. Кнотен Арниклев. Персон 1 промах. Витоци чисто. Heike Gross второе место. Меркушина 14, Мингас за ней. Лампич 21, 29 секунд.
Well, Julia Simon is taking charge here. She's had a good week.
Но тут я болею за Анну-Марию Лампич. Конечно же. Только за нее. Дерзкий парень, но тут бегут 30 лучших. Дарета и Вера, наверное, в 30 лучших не входят, я так думаю, в этом сезоне. Потому что она много пропускала.
Don't want to have the added pressure of knowing that they've got maybe the fastest skier 10 seconds behind them. They can work that out for themselves.
Ребят, ставьте лайки, подписывайтесь на канал. Кто хочет поддержать канал, ссылка по трансляции есть для поддержки канала.
Now, does she make them all sweat? Vogt there wearing 9.
Я не знаю, какие каналы транслируют. Наверное, не русские, скорее всего.
Pretty healthy start. If we cut the clear shoots in half for each shoot, Ian, we'll be down to 10 after the second prone, 5 after the third shoot, so we could have a five-way race at the end, which takes us back to Ruhpolding, where we had a fantastic finish in both of the pursuit races.
Yes, exciting. I mean, we said earlier, didn't we? The races here in Antolz have been so exciting. We were tempted to call them the best races of the year. How quickly we forget how exciting it was over in Ruhpolding just last weekend. Phenomenal races.
Ну, вам люди отвечают, Александр. Привет, я Завитоцу и Хановер. Привет.
Get the crowd numbers. Crowd numbers important, and these last 3 World Cups have been incredibly well supported.
Ребят, проставьте лайки, пожалуйста, продвинуть трансляцию.
So Simon, I think she's trying to extend this lead. Obviously, she's trying to extend it, but I think it's a positive effort to put her in a position where she can miss a shot and still come out within sight of the.
Джулия Симон на первом месте. На данный момент.
Really pushing the pace now. She's trying to bridge that gap and put pressure on her teammate. Heike Gross probably a more sensible tactic.
Well, it's interesting that the others are sticking behind Heike Gross. They're using her as a pacer, and that makes it so much easier when you arrive at the range for shooting. But in many ways, therefore, Lou Jean Monod is the one who's bridging the gap and just creating a little bit of bungee cord all the way ahead to Simone to try and just create some kind of psychological influence. That gap is
Simone уже оторвалась. Прилично.
Absolutely. So you're saying that Jean Monod is helping the rest?
I am, and it's just a shame that one or two of them. Tandrevold doesn't look like she was tempted to go with her and just wants to ease off. But in some ways, having Lou Jean Monod go ahead there and close the gap, I'm surprised no one went with her.
На втором месте также Франция. Jean Monod.
Well, it's a long race, and pacing definitely plays its part.
I think this is confident and courageous from Jean Monod. I think this says that in her head she's thinking, I'm not here to simply make up the numbers at the top of the result list. I'm here with the potential of winning today, and I need to start thinking about doing something about the gap.
Надеюсь, все хорошо будет.
She's already caught up a massive time on those ahead of her. She missed a target. But has more than made up for that. Lampitz is going to be, I think she'll only be.
Жеманов второе. Ванесса Войт. Третья Лена Хекингрус. Четвертая Лампич. Пятая Лампич с 21 места поднялась на 5-е. Представьте, да? Анна-Мария Лампич, молодец.
Fingers crossed that she can get some targets down. I think we're all looking forward to the day that she goes through that last shoot with a chance of winning.
Yes, I mean, let's face it, it's not going to suddenly happen overnight.
Да, Доротея Вирар нету, ребят. Анна-Мария Лампич уже борется. Ребят, вторая стрельба.
Works away as she has done consistently and improves her shooting. Yeah, she's wearing 15 is Anna-Maria Lampitz from Slovenia.
Нет, просто Лампич бывшая лыжница. Но очень быстро. Симон начала стрелять. Пока чисто. Чисто Симон. Жемано чисто. Лампич промах. Оберг Ханна чисто. Лампич 1. Арниклеев чисто. Тандраволь чисто. Брорсон. промах, Томингас чисто, Шнайдер промах, Гаспарин чисто.
That's a nice shoot from her. Heike Gross, her teammate, only 15 seconds off the lead. I think Heike Gross could bring that down to 5 or 6 seconds by the end of this loop as we head into the first of the standing shoots.
Привет. Спасибо за трансляцию.
She's back up there in the mix with the rest of the athletes who everyone else around her has managed to clear all the targets. Lampik is just coming through now and is the only one other than Brazil Boucher in the top 18 to have missed any. Of course, she's had 2
Кто хочет поддержать канал, ссылка по трансляции.
In 19th, the oldest athlete in the field today with 1 penalty so far.
Yeah, some good shooting yet again. 16 actually clear. Brazil Boucher has bridged that gap, having missed one earlier on. So 16 athletes still clear, better than the 50% that we normally see. And I think that bodes well for a very, very exciting final shoot. I think those last 2 shots will have settled the nerve of the French coaches as they watch the shots fall. Nothing to worry about.
Бодолай.
Jomino was a second and a half behind coming in, but considerably slower to get that first shot away. She's exited in second, but 8 seconds off the lead of Julie Simon. And Jomino took 11
Симон,
seconds
посмотрим отставание Жемано.
Simon on that last loop.
5-1.
Go on doing that. Brazil Boucher makes it a 1-2-3 for France at the top of the field.
12 Лена Хекингросс 13-5, Ханна Обрек 14-4, Лиза Витоци 15-7, Анна-Мария Лампич уже борется за 14 место, 33-3 проигрывает Анна-Мария Лампич.
The sister, of course, of Antonin Guiganat, and Lampitz is still there in 14th place. 1 miss on each of the shoots so far. A clear in the stand, and she really has got a chance.
Лампич бы стойку хотя бы научиться стрелять чисто на ребят. И тогда точнее лёжку. Стойки по одному промаху, и тогда, мне кажется, победа у нее в кармане. Мне кажется, догоняют. Такое ощущение, что приближается Жемано.
No real gains by Jomino. I think that second loop might have been just a little bit too fast. Brazil Boucher, any signs of tension there? It's not the easy victory in the Masstart that she had in Lenzerheide when no one challenged her, and she's got so many strong athletes right on her tail that it's going to be a tough fight to get on the podium.
Дмитрий, но всему свое время научится.
The Germans missing Preutz today and Hettig-Valdt, so illness still playing a part. Lots of illness this year in both the biathlon and the cross-country tours, Ian.
Всю жизнь стреляла.
They were so well protected when the pandemic was on that they just don't have the resistance that most
А Лампич только недавно начала.
It seems to be an issue globally that we've all become a little bit vulnerable because we spent too much time in a slightly more sterile world, and now that we're just dropping our guard a bit, everyone is feeling the impacts of any bugs and little nasty viruses that are going around.
Ребят, спасибо. Ставьте лайки. Подписывайтесь на канал.
Julia Simon in the short individual
Следующим будет чемпионат мира. Новое место на Моравии.
If Simon is thinking about it, then her chances of hitting 5 with 5 are much less than if she's just thinking positively, which I expect she is doing. It's about procedures, isn't it, Ian? It's about going through the drills, going through the shoot as if it's a training run, trying to block out the noise of the fans and the excitement of the race situation.
It is, and if you think back to the Schalke Stadium just before the new year, Simone was
Очередная отсечка. Посмотрим, сколько Анна-Мария Лампич отыграла. 3 секунды она еще отыграла. 13 место.
Yeah, absolutely with you. Access to the athlete's thought process would be very, very interesting. We did have a stage where we had a pulse meter, but I think all the readings got confused.
Итак, первая стойка.
Sort of sensible information out of it. Shoot number 3. We're into the stand position for the first time. And Julie Simon has been first to strike on both occasions so far, but this time she has thrown one wide. That was close.
Один промах Симон. Что же ответит ее соперница? Браса Буше промах, Тандревольд промах, Кнотен промах, Хобер промах, Гегана промах, Жамано чисто, Арниклев 2. Анна-Мария Лампич. Первый попала. Второй попала. Третий мимо. Четвертый попала. Пятый мимо, 2 промаха. Анна-Мария Лампич. Итак, тройка. Жамано, Симон и Втоци. Ванесса Фойкт. 4 место.
I hope she's still got it in her, and the crowd are going to be hoping that too.
From 16 athletes clear after the second shoot, we have just 4 athletes with the perfect score now. A massive, massive reduction as the tension of the race situation goes up and up and up. Out comes Tandrevold trying to defend the lead in the overall
Тандервольд 11-я только.
Арниклев,
Бассерга.
Jomino, the first to clear 5. So the delay in the prone, Ian, the delay is all about building the position and getting the rifle alignment right. In the stand, is it more about bringing the pulse and the breathing under control?
It is, but I think that little pause, which you don't tend to see with Simone, and I think there's an area of improvement that she could get there. With the stand shooting, it's more about just steadying. You're not necessarily trying to reduce your heart rate any further. It's just being ready to start shooting. Otherwise, what often happens is you're pulled into a bad shoot, and the stand position all by itself tends to encourage you to shoot quicker. There's less contact with the ground. It's easier to move your arms and your hands, so you just tend to flow much quicker, and you have to hold that back and keep it under control. A little bit like controlling a young horse, not letting it go out of control.
Тройка лидеров. Луи Жамано, Симон, Элиза Витоци. Ванесса Фойкт, 4-я, 5-я. Браса Буше, 6-я. Хейки Гросс, 7-я. Каролин Кнотен.
Which is giving her more points as she tries to close the gap down on Tandrevold in the World Cup. And Heike Gross, the winner of the short individual, is there in 6th. She still has a chance. What a situation developing. One shoot to go. They've got just over 3.5 kilometers to ski today.
10-е место Тандервальд.
And my goodness, this is going to be very tight. Actually, it's a little bit further than that because we've got a 2.5K loop after the next shoot.
Лампич 17 с 4.
Got 30 seconds separating the top 8. Tandervold is down at 47. It's going to take a little bit of a disaster from the leaders for her to get a look in.
Yes, I think it's going to be unlikely that Tandervold could pull that sort of distance back now. It won't go slow towards the front of the race, not with both of these two of the fastest skiers on the circuit in the lead. I think if Vanessa Vogt was near the front, she'd be holding the pace back a little bit. But Vitozzi, Vogt and Jean Monod, up in the 90s in their stats for the stand shooting. Not many people are left there now at this stage of the season, but they are so consistent that they're the ones that are benefiting now from the nature of this race. You're tired, there's a lot of pressure, you're really just hanging in there and you're full of lactic acid. It's hard to hit targets in the stand position when you're in this state.
Jean Monod at 90%. Simon
Да, Верер не было.
and Vitozzi, who's back in third, is 91%. Those stats give you an indication of their record for the season, but they don't tell you what's going to happen on the day. You've just got to hope that your favourite comes through the toughest test that biathlon has. The yellow bib of Tandervold is trailing at the moment, down in 11th, 47 seconds off, and crucially, she's 5 or 6 places down on Brazard Boucher, who is only 38 points behind her in the World Cup standings. And if Brazard Boucher can get back up on the podium, she could be back in yellow. How good is it for Simon that she's had Jean Monod to follow over the loop so far, and she just takes her on the inside of the corner, just as we saw Dali Shevdal do to.
Никто не хочет отрываться пока что. Все экономят силы на последний круг.
Yes, she just didn't quite. She tactfully just tucked in behind Jean Monod coming around the corner and down the hill. Now that meant the drafting effect. It just meant that she could put her forearms onto the top of her knees and just relax and not have to get down quite so far. That allows the big leg muscles to recover just a little better. Marginal gain. She knows exactly what she's doing, and she knows right now all the pressure is at its highest. This next 30 seconds, getting this bit right, will determine the result of the race.
Well, she also knows that she will shoot quicker than Jean Monod alongside her. So Jean Monod has to outshoot Julia Simon in terms of the number of hits. She can't do that if Simon hits 5 yet again. Simon with only
Симон выходит вперед, поддавливая соперницу. Браза Буше догоняет. Лизу Витоцци уже приблизилась. Итак, заключительная стрельба.
And it would be fantastic if she wrapped it up again today. But she has got to hope something goes wrong at the head of the field. Here we go. Simon in lane 1. Jean Monod with 2 wins early in the season. Can she make it another one just before we head to the World Championships? She is in lane 2. And Brazard Boucher moving up into lane 4 alongside Lisa Vitozzi.
Симон пока что чисто. Симон чисто.
Can you compete with that? That is fantastic. Now, Jean Monod has been quick. She needs these, and she needs them rapidly. She can give away maybe.
Браза Буше промах, Витоцци промах. Лена Хейки-Гросс чисто. Ванесса Войт чисто. Кнотен промах.
And Knotten with that one penalty is out of the race for the podium positions. So Simon is 1, Jean Monod in 2, as she has been for much of the race today, and Heike Gross with a little cushion ahead of Vogt. It's a 7-second cushion. That may well be enough, but her mind will be on chasing down second place.
It's all falling apart for Tandervold. She's going to lose more points
Тамингас 5 промахов. Анна-Мария Лампич, Дворник, Лев чисто. Без 40 чисто, Ханеберг чисто.
If you look down over the years, the winner of the Mastarts nearly always hit 5 on the last shoot. It's so important not to be on the penalty loop, not to tire yourself out before the last lap.
Ну да, из того, что 5 промахов.
This was an incredible shoot.
It was stupendous. The speed she got that first shot away at. I think, you know, I'm starting to now not be surprised.
Yeah, that was what we saw over Christmas.
Может, мимо мишени стрельнули. Не по своей машине.
Well, I think that little clip shows you just how popular Germano is. France delighted to have 1 and 2. Brézard-Boucher has dropped down to 7th, which is a little bit of a let-off for Tanrevold. But Tanrevold has come out of that last shoot down in 17th. And 17th gets her, 24 World Cup points. Not enough. Remember, a 38-point gap between 1 and 2 in the World Cup at the moment.
Yeah, it wouldn't be unlikely for Brézard-Boucher to finish in 7th. She's got a lot of work to do to close the gap on Knotten. Tanrevold might make up 1 or 2 places. Those points really will matter. They may matter more at the end of the season than they do going into the
Шимано 11,3. Лена Хейкингросс 14,3.
She will know those figures. She'll be getting all of that kind of data out on the course.
11 seconds, it was 8 between 1 and 2. Heike Gross came out at 13.7. She has closed down on Germano, but has not managed to close down on Julie Simon, who's gone into overdrive yet again. She is heading for, what's it going to be, her 10th World Cup win, or her 9th World Cup win, her 10th overall. And Germano...
Нет, мне кажется, Хейкингросс не обгонит. А Шимано не.
Down on Simon, having missed targets, but I think Heike Gross similarly tired. The Swiss athlete with 1 miss. Actually, Germano is clear. Simon with 1 miss, and Vogt of Germany 20 out of 20 yet again. That is astonishing to hit 60 out of 60 here in Antolz.
Absolutely incredible. So this is where Heike Gross has to go. She's got to find something else and increase the pace. She's got to close the gap before the top of this hill. Once Lou Germano has the benefit of not providing any extra slipstream to the person behind her, then she's going to get away far enough, I think, to make the finish line without anyone catching her. I don't think it's going to happen now.
Yeah, I think
Не, все, даже я.
wishing she had the fuel injection system that Dali Shevdal had this morning, which was one of the most impressive bursts we've seen.
Немка может обогнать.
Vogt of Germany, another good race from her, but it's going to be 4th place yet again. Oh, how painful is that? She does have that win in the single mix relay to go home with, but twice 4th in the individual races here in Antolz. And there you see the margins. Simon is home and dry, and that is going to continue her climb up the rankings. It's been a fantastic recovery, hasn't it? A little bit shaky at the end of the Ruhpolding pursuit, but other than that, since Christmas, she's been on great form.
Little look back from Lou Germano there.
Шимано обернулась.
But she doesn't have to start thinking of any extra tactics to apply now to ensure she gets a silver medal, 2nd place on the podium next to Simon. I think we're fairly guaranteed. We've got a running order now, at least for the first 3. Vogt is probably going to be fine, but it's going to be a little bit of a battle between Vitozzi and Knotten, I think. And I think Vitozzi was looking pretty tired.
Сколько стоят такие лыжи? Не знаю, в интернете посмотрю.
33.25 on the clock at the moment. Remember, the winning time in Lenzerheide was 36.04. I think we're going to be a little bit inside that. And Heike Gross, sensational week for her.
Вода Хайки Гросс было 14 секунд.
And the Swiss team were besides themselves with her success in the short individual. Today, it's about France in the women's field. They're going to get 1 and 2 at one stage. It looked as though they could get 1, 2 and 3. Boucher missing 4. Guigana has had a good race. She's in the top 10, but missing 2.
Так, финишная прямая.
Happiness, Ian, a long ski into the finish, knowing that the victory and the 90 points are yours.
Oh, this will taste very sweet. Wonderful to finishing.
Посмотрим, какая будет Анна-Мария Лампич. С 6 промахами.
World Cup Championship form. Another 90 points. She goes definitely ahead of Elvira Erberg. She may well close the gap on Lisa Vitozzi. That's going to depend what happens to Vitozzi in the closing stages. Heike Gross proves it was no fluke in the short individual. She's back in the top 3. Wonderful performance. And
Vanessa Voigt с нулем. Четвертая.
They've had a nice little trip across the Austrian and the Italian border to the South Tyrol. The Germans always enjoy coming here, and they generally see
Каролин Кноттен. Пятая.
So far this week, as well as Johannes
Витоца шестое.
You're absolutely right, Ian.
Арниклев седьмое. Гигана восьмое. Жюстин Браса-Буше. Басанка десятая.
That is going to be very, very tight. I've got Vitozzi on 6.71 and Julia Simon on 6.72. So I think Simon is now up into third.
Вон Анна-Мария Лампич бежит на 14 месте. 6 промахов. Шикарно, шикарно. Молодец, Анна-Мария Лампич.
Top half of the field in a race like this that really is about shooting and shooting fast is a pretty impressive result.
Тандра Вольт всего лишь 17, 4 промаха.
17th, 4 penalties.
Yeah, 24 points for 17. Boucher, luckily for her, was in 7th position, which gives her 36. So the yellow bib stays with Tandrevold after that race. But I don't think they need to worry about each other. I think they need to worry about Julia Simon, who is up into the top 3.
Анна Магнуссен. 20-я Мона Брорсон. 21-я.
Little bit blustery on day one and foggy, but the weather has got better and better, and the racing has got better and better as the week has gone on. And we finish off with an absolute cracker. Julia Simon taking the win, Jean Monod of France in second, and Heike Gross of Switzerland.
Маркета Давидова, 22-я. Петренко. 23-й это Джессика Ислова. 24-я Толита Мингас. 25-я Идалин. 26-я Лин Парсон. 27-е. Тоже плохо. Ладно, ребят, ставьте лайки, подписывайтесь на канал. Встретимся на чемпионате мира.